Behind the gilded gates of Buckingham Palace, a mother faced an impossible choice. On one side, her duty as queen, the institution she'd sworn to protect, the traditions she'd upheld for decades, the belief that royal marriages don't fail. On the other side, a daughter-in-law spiraling into darkness, a woman the press had destroyed, a mother struggling to survive. The year was 1996. The marriage was Andrew and Fergie, and the Queen was about to make a decision that would haunt the royal family for decades. This is the untold story of a divorce that wasn't supposed to happen, of a queen who said no until she couldn't anymore, of a duchess on the brink of collapse, and of the moment when duty finally gave way to compassion. What really happened behind those palace walls? Why did the Queen fight so hard against this divorce? And what broke her resolve? The truth is far more heartbreaking than anyone knew. Let's go back to the beginning, when everything seemed perfect. July 23, 1986. Westminster Abbey. A summer wedding watched by millions around the world. Prince Andrew, the dashing helicopter pilot, fresh from his heroics in the Falklands War. The Queen's favorite son, charming, confident, royal through and through. And Sarah Ferguson, Fergie, a breath of fresh air in the stuffy world of royalty. Red-haired, vivacious, full of life. She wasn't aristocratic like Diana. She was relatable, genuine, fun. She laughed too loud, smiled too wide, refused to be constrained by royal protocol. She was everything the monarchy wasn't: spontaneous, warm, unpretentious. The Queen adored her, or so it seemed. Fergie wasn't threatening like Diana was becoming. She didn't overshadow the institution. She fit in while standing out in all the right ways. For a while, it worked beautifully. Andrew and Fergie had two daughters, Beatrice in 1988, Eugenie in 1990. The family photos showed a happy couple, a loving mother, a proud father. But behind the scenes, cracks were already forming. Andrew's naval career meant he was away for months at a time. In the first 5 years of marriage, they spent only 40 days together. 40 days out of 5 years. Fergie was left alone in the palace, expected to perform royal duties, raise two small children, and smile for the cameras while her husband sailed the world. She was lonely, isolated, and the press had begun to turn. If you wanted to understand cruelty, you only had to read the British tabloids in the early 1990s. They called her the Duchess of Pork. They photographed her at unflattering angles and published them on front pages with degrading headlines. They scrutinized her weight, her fashion choices, her parenting, her every move. Where they once celebrated her spontaneity, they now mocked it. Where they praised her authenticity, they now called her vulgar and unrefined. Every holiday she took was labeled extravagant. Every outfit was criticized. Every smile was analyzed for signs of impropriety. The comparison to Diana was constant and brutal. Diana, the elegant princess. Fergie, the frumpy duchess. Diana, who could do no wrong in the public eye. Fergie, who could do nothing right. It wore her down, piece by piece. Friends noticed the change. The vibrant woman who'd bounced into the royal family was becoming withdrawn, anxious, depressed. The weight of constant criticism was crushing her spirit. And Andrew? He was rarely there. When he was home, he didn't understand the pressure she was under. He'd grown up in this world. He had thick skin. He expected her to simply carry on. By 1992, the marriage was in crisis. They'd grown apart, living separate lives even when under the same roof. The love they'd once shared had evaporated, replaced by resentment and distance. In March 1992, they made an announcement. They were separating. But separation in the royal family is one thing. Divorce is another entirely. This wasn't just personal preference. This was doctrine. As head of the Church of England, she represented an institution that, for centuries, had considered marriage sacred and indissoluble. Her own uncle, Edward VIII, had abdicated the throne for a divorced woman. That scandal had shaped her entire life, thrust her father onto the throne, and defined her understanding of duty over desire. She had remained married to Prince Philip through decades of rumors, difficulties, and challenges because that's what queens do. They endure. When Andrew and Fergie separated, the Queen was deeply disappointed. But she hoped it was temporary. A rough patch. Something that could be mended with time and effort. She made her feelings clear. Separation was acceptable, but divorce was not. According to royal authors' revelations, the Queen actively discouraged the divorce. She wanted them to work it out, to think of their daughters, to remember their vows. But then came August 1992, the photographs that changed everything. Fergie was photographed on vacation in the south of France, with her financial advisor, John Bryan, in compromising positions, him kissing her feet. The images were explicit, humiliating, devastating. The scandal exploded. Fergie wasn't just separated. She was being portrayed as unfaithful, reckless, shameless. The Queen was reportedly furious, not just at the behavior, but at the embarrassment it brought to the family. This wasn't a quiet separation anymore. This was a public spectacle. And still, she resisted the divorce. Why? Because royal marriages don't fail. Because divorce represented failure. Because once you allow one divorce, where does it stop? But Fergie was crumbling under the weight of it all. Separated from your husband, estranged from the royal family, destroyed by the press, fighting to see your own daughters without it becoming a media circus. You're still technically a royal, but you're treated like an outsider. You're invited to some family events, but excluded from others. You're in limbo, neither fully in nor fully out. The psychological toll was immense. Friends close to Fergie later revealed that she was struggling profoundly with her mental health. The constant scrutiny, the isolation, the public humiliation, it was breaking her. She later described this period as one of the darkest of her life. She felt abandoned, worthless, trapped in a nightmare she couldn't escape. According to the royal author's recent revelations, palace insiders began to fear that Fergie was heading toward a nervous breakdown. This wasn't drama. This wasn't exaggeration. This was a woman genuinely in crisis, and people around her could see it. She had lost enormous amounts of weight. She was erratic, emotional. She would break down in tears without warning. She couldn't sleep, couldn't function normally. Those who cared about her, including, surprisingly, some members of the royal household, began to worry seriously about her well-being. Fergie survived. She rebuilt her life, became a successful author, found purpose in charity work. She never remarried, remaining strangely devoted to Andrew even after their divorce. And the Queen? She eventually made peace with it all. In her later years, Fergie was occasionally spotted at royal events, even photographed with the Queen at church services. The disappointment never fully disappeared, but it softened into acceptance. The story of Andrew and Fergie's divorce isn't just about a failed marriage. It's about a queen forced to choose between her principles and a woman's sanity, between tradition and compassion, between what she believed was right and what she knew was necessary. It's about a duchess who came so close to breaking that the palace itself intervened to save her. And it's about a relationship that, even in divorce, refused to end. Andrew and Fergie, still together in spirit if not in law, still living under the same roof decades later, still presenting the most unusual royal arrangement in modern history. The Queen is gone now. She passed away never having fully reconciled her feelings about that divorce. But she made the right choice when it mattered most. She chose life over image, mental health over tradition, a woman's well-being over institutional pride. And perhaps, in that moment of reluctant compassion, she showed us what true leadership really looks like. Not blind adherence to rules, but wisdom to know when rules must bend. Not disappointment that paralyzes, but love that liberates. The divorce that broke the Queen's heart may have also revealed her truest self. And that legacy, perhaps, is worth more than any unbroken marriage ever could be.